If you ask someone to picture the concept of evolution, they will almost always picture this exact image. This famous March of Progress illustration leaves the public with a misleading impression of how biology works. It suggests that evolution operates like a straight ladder. We look at this and assume biology operates like a constant software update, where nature is always patching bugs and upgrading animals from a basic model into a more advanced version. Viewing evolution as a steady conveyor belt toward perfection creates massive logical holes when we look at how wild animals actually operate. If biology is always upgrading, we have to explain why the platypus is thriving today while keeping the ancient trait of laying eggs like its reptilian ancestors. Or why the Tamri goats of Morocco survive by climbing into the thin branches of argan trees to eat fruit, while their cousins on other continents stick to mountains or meadows. The answer lies in the good enough principle. Evolution is a branching bush driven by pragmatic solutions to local problems, not a ladder leading to a perfect animal. The trigger for these changes is selection pressure, a specific challenge, like a lack of food or a new predator, that forces a species to either redesign its anatomy or die out. This process is visible in the history of a single family of furry, land-dwelling mammals that lived millions of years ago. One branch stayed on dry land, growing massive to intimidate fierce predators. The other branch moved into shallow marshes, evolving incredibly dense bones as diving weights to forage for underwater vegetation without floating. Today, we know these two descendants as the elephant and the manatee, two entirely different bodies forged from the same blueprint. Nature's pragmatism is clearest when we look at control groups, cousin species that stayed in resource-rich environments and never faced the pressure to change. The green iguana spends its life in trees, eating abundant leaves. But on the barren volcanic rocks of the Galapagos, its relative was forced into the freezing ocean to find food. To survive this niche, the marine iguana developed a flattened tail for swimming and specialized glands to sneeze out excess ocean salt. Most bears, like the spectacled bear in South America, are generalist omnivores that eat meat, berries, and fish. However, the ancestor of the giant panda moved into high-altitude forests where bamboo was the only reliable food. It evolved a pseudo-thumb to grip the stalks and eventually lost the biological ability to even taste meat. Biological redesign costs a massive amount of energy. Nature only pays that cost when an animal's immediate environment demands it. 50 million years ago, a group of hoofed mammals split. One branch moved into the deep ocean, eventually losing its hair and legs to become whales and dolphins. The other branch stayed near the water's edge, where its original land-based anatomy continued to work perfectly. This split makes the hippopotamus the whale's closest living relative. They are sister taxa, meaning a hippo is more closely related to a blue whale than it is to a pig. A hippo's anatomy remained terrestrial because the environment near the shore never exerted the specific pressures required to force it into the open sea. While petrels kept their light wings to ride the wind, penguins lost the ability to fly in the air to become world-class flyers underwater, turning their wings into solid-bone flippers. Petrels and albatrosses maintained their light, hollow skeletons because those traits remain the most effective tools for their specific hunting style. When a species looks similar to its ancestors, it represents a biological design so successful for its environment that it requires no further engineering. Every living creature today, from the diving whale to the common rabbit, is currently the product of millions of years of evolution. Nature is a pragmatic engineer, building only what is strictly necessary. For the animals that stayed basic, their survival proves they have already reached a high-efficiency design for their home.